This nigga Draymond basically said, "Hey yo, this that shit that got Jordan Poole clap, nigga. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Like, hey, like father, like son. Watch your mouth." Welcome back to another episode of the Play for Keys podcast. The Play for Keys podcast, the only podcast that has a number in the name with no real meaning. Jax, how you doing?
I am actually feeling terrible. I think I'm like sick, but not like COVID or nothing. I got like a cold or whatever. My voice sounds funny.
Interesting.
But I work from home today, so I ain't had to do nothing. I ain't get nobody sick, so I'm fine. My nose is clogged. But other than that, I took a whole lot of pills, so now I feel fine.
Going into the nitty gritty of all things sports.
Yeah, because we got a whole lot to talk about. Finally, after I don't even know how many weeks he was on the market, after he got released for some crazy reason, just simply released by the Cardinals, Deandre Hopkins has found himself a new team, and he is now a Tennessee Titan, which is absolutely positively the worst possible, not the worst possible outcome.
No, it's not. It's
but
not
one of the
worse.
worst possible outcomes from him because, boy, the Tennessee Titans stink. Now he signed a 2-year deal worth $26 million, and he has some incentives. So, like, if he reaches the incentives, the contract will be worth $32 million. So, nice chunk of change. But like, and he's in Tennessee. It's probably like cool city, but like, my gosh, that's absolutely terrible. I would not want to play for the Tennessee Titans. My thing with the whole D Hop situation. First, it's crazy that he was just released. Like they didn't want to trade for him or nothing. He just got released because while he was suspended for 11 games, I believe, last season because like some PEDs or something like that. He only ended up playing 6 games, but he had 64 catches, 717 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like that's a normal. Like if you extrapolate those numbers out, look at me using words like extrapolate. But if you extrapolate those numbers out, like that's a normal D Hop season. Like he's gonna go crazy that season, like he always does, because he's just a good receiver. And I was looking up stats for him, and I was looking up stats for D Hop, and he's only had one season with below 55% catch percentage, which I mean that's not very good. There's only one season, but his last 5 seasons he caught 65% of his passes or higher. So his last 5 seasons, like this old D Hop, quote unquote old D Hop, he's still productive. He's still catching the ball. He's still going crazy. He's not. Is he the most explosive receiver? No, but one thing about D Hop, he's going to catch the ball no matter what. He's still one of the best receivers in the NFL. So the fact that he was just released, that just rubbed me the wrong way. And then I feel like a better team could most definitely have used him, like the Titans. Granted, he was released sort of late into the offseason, but the Titans aren't. There were receivers go to die, unfortunately, like Andre Johnson.
Really?
Andre Johnson played for the Titans. Nobody remembers that because Andre Johnson was terrible for the Titans. Julio Jones, he also played for the Titans, and we know how that ended. That was they hated him. He wasn't good for the Titans, and now it's D Hop, and it just feels like shades of the past. Like he's gonna go there and be trash, and it's not. I don't even think it'll be his fault. They don't have a good situation behind quarterback. Like they have Ryan Tannehill, who's like mid/below mid. Then they have 2 young quarterbacks with Will Levis, who they just drafted, and Malik Willis, who I believe was a 5th-round pick last year, but he has like a whole bunch of potential. And the time they drafted Will Levis to be that new starter quarterback, and there are reports coming out that Malik Willis is outplaying him, and that's a 5th-round pick. So it's just like, what are we doing? Why are we going to this trash team? There's so many other teams that could have used him, and I get he probably wouldn't have got the money, but if he really wanted a ring or he wanted to play with like a good quarterback, like he said in interviews, like there's better options, honestly. Like I would have liked him to go to like another AFC South team like the Jaguars. I think they really could have used him as a big like jump ball type receiver. He's really a safety blanket, so they could use somebody like that. or someone like the Lions who Jameson Williams, he's going to be suspended for the first few games of the season because he was
No.
gambling, because he's doesn't make good decisions. But I digress. Like they could have also used D Hop because they don't have that big, sticky-handed receiver like they have Amon-Ra St. Brown, but that's it. So I just feel like there were better options for him. But I mean, I like
Cleveland could have used them too.
even Cleveland. He got that connection with Deshaun.
Yeah,
But
Cleveland could have used them on top of having another like quote unquote safety blanket with Amari Cooper. That would have been nice.
that's a great Amari Cooper. And D Hop is a great tandem, 1A, 1B type wide receiver. So it's just
on top of
confusing. But hey, that's where he wants to go. I don't think it's a good idea for him personally, but I do hope he succeeds because I like D Hop.
I mean, look, I hope this is not a foreshadow for what is to come with Damian Lillard, but I'm not gonna lie. Like when he started naming like his top quarterbacks and stuff, it just gave me like that airy feeling of this nigga Damian Lillard talking about all these teams that he fuck with. It's just like, yo, they not the same nigga, but I feel like they're both laying their own beds. Like I really think D Hop had the opportunity to go to a better situation. It was just gonna come at a price. And I feel like he's at that football career where it's a little, and I think in his mind, it's a little too early to go that I'm gonna take the vet men and get this ring.
I mean, he is only 31, so he's not that old. So.
Like, I think he has that conversation when he turns like 34, 35. 34, 35, he still ain't won no ring anywhere. All right, let's go to the Chiefs. Let's go to the 49ers, whoever it may be, whoever's the hot team. Let's go ahead and get this ring for real. Because by that time, my stats is there and I'm utilizing as much money as I'm getting. And he probably looking at these running backs and he's just like, hey, yo, if you're not a quarterback, this deflation of finances can happen at any time. Let's go ahead and get the money now. I don't really blame him, but I understand that this is not his best situation possible, in my opinion. But it's not the worst. I'm gonna say it's not the worst.
It's not the worst, but I think it's a bad one, but it's definitely not the worst because there's many more worse teams. New England Patriots were looking at you, so a lot of But hey,
and fuck Bill O'Brien. I'm not even a Texans fan, but fuck that nigga Bill O'Brien.
Bro, like I feel like he's such a bad. Like the fact that he intentionally sabotaged the Texans, and he said this in interviews before. I'm just like, they can't sue you or something. Like
that
Bill O'Brien's a terrible human being.
That nigga sit down when he pee. I'm not taking that nigga serious, bro. Get this nigga out of here, bro. Get this bitch ass nigga away from me. How is he employed? He should have stayed in college. He should have been banned from the NFL for a hot little minute. Like
honestly, like. But let's move on. Before we get on the Bill O'Brien thing, because he just.
I can talk about that nigga for.
Bro, like, it makes no man. Okay, lock in.
For sure.
Because there's another situation brewing all the way, not even all the way, down the street. Well, all the way for you, but down the street for me in Dallas with Dak Prescott. He's good. He didn't have his best season last year. He was hurt. He threw for 15 interceptions. And even though a lot of his interceptions were picks, jokes were still gonna fly because that's just what happens when the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, you mean tipped?
Yeah, tipped. My bad. A lot of his interceptions were tipped, and that's just what happens sometimes. And jokes were flying. People were saying he's trash. People were saying he's worse than Kirk Cousins, and he's mid. He's not a top 10 quarterback, and blah blah blah. And he was hearing all this. So in an interview, he said, "I won't have 10 interceptions this year." But I just lied because that's not what he said. He was misquoted. I repeat, he was misquoted. What he really said was he was referring to the interceptions, and he said, "Do I blame my receivers? No. Mike McCarthy does an amazing job with our receivers. They know where to be, and they know when they're going to be looked at. A big jump this year is going to happen. we won't have those tipped interceptions this year. He didn't say we won't have 10 interceptions. He said we won't have the tipped interceptions. But he was misquoted and aggregated, and it just became a whole thing. And memes are flying and yada yada yada. And it just, as a journalist, as a reporter, blah blah blah, it's sort of upsetting. But how do you feel about that coming into this next season?
Look, I'm not saying this for me as a Cowboys fan. I've learned my lesson to not hype these niggas up. I really have learned my lesson. I'm not gonna be somebody that's saying we going to the Super Bowl. No, I'm not doing all that. Anytime I have low expectations, they surpass my expectations, and I feel good about myself in this team. So I'm gonna say I don't expect them to do nothing crazy this season, and I'm gonna hope that they prove me wrong. Specifically, Dak Prescott. A lot of those interceptions were tipped. Like it bothered.
Crazy.
It was very bothersome seeing these compilations, and I think the worst one for me was definitely that Jacksonville one.
Yes.
That shit had me. I think I
They
turned
lost the game on that.
They lost the game in OT.
Wide open. He just Noah Brown just could not catch the ball, and he bounced to the defender. He caught it, ran it back for a touchdown, and it's just like.
And I had to see more Dak Prescott propaganda. You know where I stay. I'm 2 hours from Philly. I'm 2 hours from Jersey. I mean, I'm not 2 hours from Philly. I'm 2 hours from Jersey. There's a lot of Jersey niggas that are Philly fans. So he was talking their shit. I'm right next to these Giants fans. So they would look. It was not a good day for me at work. You feel me? So for Dak Prescott, I do believe that he's gonna have a better season. I really do believe he's gonna have a better season. But I'm not as high on Dak Prescott as I was last season. He gonna have to prove to me, hey yo, look, we gonna fix some things. We gonna make some changes. There's a lot of times Tony Romo was like, hey yo, we're not gonna throw them picks no more. What that nigga do next season? Throw them picks.
All right,
bro. He'll throw them picks.
I don't stand for Tony Romo slander, bro.
Oh, we're not slandering Tony Romo. I feel like Tony Romo really maximized all of his potential. I think Tony Romo
was the best quarterback in Dallas Cowboys history. But I digress.
I feel like that's a fair argument because I mean that star-studded lineup that Troy Aikman had. You know what I mean? Look, I understand. I get your standpoint. But for Dak Prescott, like I'm not on here 10 toes down. Like, oh, he definitely top 10. I'm like, yo, he could be slightly below top 10. Like he's like 11 or 12 in my opinion. He's probably 11 or 12. But he definitely not no 15. It'd be disrespectful. Like you be thinking I'm disrespectful with it. These niggas up here be having this nigga at 15, 16, 7, like right at
17 is crazy.
They have him.
If you think he's 17 or something like that, you're lying.
They are legit saying, "Hey, yo, look, this is Kirk Cousins with more opportunity." Like they really have him locked in with Kirk Cousins, and they were doing this shit last year, and I was fighting those allegations because I was just like, "Name me 10 better." Right now, I'll have him at 11, maybe 12. No, do I have a list? Absolutely not. I do not have a list. So please do not ask me. Do not tell me. This is not one of them kind of days. I'm saying regardless what the list is, he gonna be at 10 or at 11 right now. He can only go up from there though. He can only go up from there. That's just me.
He's definitely in my top 10. He's probably like 8 or 9. 8 or 9. Now thinking about it.
Well, now with semantics, it's like okay, 9 or 10, still, 10 or 11.
But in the NFL, that's a huge gap because the gap between the top 5 quarterbacks and the gap between like the 5th best quarterback and the number 10 quarterback is a crazy gap.
From a financial standpoint, I don't see the difference. I don't see the gap.
From financial, of course not. But
from a financial, because I mean, from top five. Top 5 is in its own tier, and then after that, you can start breaking down other tiers after that.
Let me like the gap between like Lamar Jackson and Kirk Cousins. That's a crazy gap.
That is a big gap.
That's like 5 to 10. That's like the gap between like 5 and 10. Because Kirk Cousins could be maybe like the 10th, 11th best quarterback, and Lamar is in the top 5. So like, that's a huge gap. So
you feel like Lamar and Dak are not that big of a gap.
No, I think Lamar and Dak. I think
it's a closer gap.
Lamar, so that's me. That's just my personal. I think Lamar the second best quarterback in the NFL.
Oh you definitely by yourself for sure. Definitely by yourself.
We don't have to get into that.
No cap. All right,
bro. Shut up.
No, hey, that's cool. He was top 5. I just never heard nobody say 2 outside of Baltimore niggas. I was just
because they're anti-black, but
there's no way you say.
I'm just saying that's really it.
They anti-black.
That's really it. If you,
I know niggas that got Jalen Hurts in their top 5,
and he could be up there, but like
he probably 7 or 8 to me, honestly. And just off of just nigga logic of just thinking off the top of my head, I think he like 6 or 7. Maybe. I don't think he's top 5. He could be. I just don't see it.
He like 5. Like the Super Bowl really made me think of him. Like I always thought highly of him, but that Super Bowl he went crazy. It made me think of him a little bit different.
And he a Houston nigga, so I am biased. It is what it is.
But anyway, staying in Dallas, there's like we're talking about, we're both Cowboys fans. We're both in abusive relationships with the Cowboys.
Oh God.
They keep every single year they abuse us, and we keep coming back for more. We have something wrong with us. But there is trouble in paradise or trouble in hell, depending on how you look at Dallas right now, because Zach Martin and Trevon Diggs are potential holdouts. Zach Martin is probably the best guard in the NFL, if not the best, the second best. According to the Madden rankings, he's the best because he's a 99 in Madden. And he took a 6-year contract in 2018, and that contract is finna run out next year. And his contract, him taking that 6-year contract was actually sort of a steal for the Cowboys because it was a long contract and it allowed them, because you know how the Cowboys are with the cap situation. They make a lot of questionable signings. They always end up having to if the Cowboys if Jerry Jones is going to do one thing, is restructure a contract.
Yep.
And they've done a lot of that. And they're able to do that because of the financial flexibility that Zach Martin's contract allowed them to have. But now he's getting older, and he wants a new contract, and rightfully so, because he sort of took a family discount or a friend discount or whatever you want to call it, and now he's like, hey, I'm old now. It's time for me to actually get paid my rightful money, and he's turning a holdout, which sucks because he's the best lineman the Cowboys have right now, depending on how you feel about Tyron Smith. And then that's only one holdout, because another holdout is Trevon Diggs, who was a second-round pick. And now, since he was a second-round pick, he doesn't have that flexibility of the 5-year contract. And now his contract is also finna be up. And in an interview Des Bryant did, he said, when he was speaking on Trevon Diggs, because they're friends, he said Trevon's not trying to knock Dallas over the head, but for their money. But Dallas, they're not being fair and giving him the contract he rightfully deserves. And that's 2 of Dallas's best players, potential holdouts. How do you feel about that? Because my goodness, it looks terrible.
This is a unique situation because they both have, they both kind of have tremendous power right now. Zach is the best, in my opinion. I don't put Tyron Smith in this category. He just gets injured way too much.
Like when he's on the field, he's great, but he's like Paul George. He's like Paul George.
Yeah. What did Steph Curry say to Chris Paul? This is not 2014 no more. This is not 2016. like Tyron Smith used to be a scary dude. Like he used to scare the fuck out of people. Like this is a different dude. But Zach Martin, look, we have definitely been on the weaker end of guards and offensive linemen. We just keep living in this realm of 2016, 2017, 2015. Like we just keep living in this la-la land that we have those same kind of caliber kind of dudes with the level of protection. Look, if you expecting Dak to have a great year this season, there can't be no running for your life. You
Nah.
know, on the
And that got hurt last season on
yeah,
some crazy stuff. So
yeah. And on Trevon Diggs' side, you have somebody like Des Bryant in your ear saying, "Hey, yo, know your worth. Like, just don't fold to these niggas." He has power too because he's very important in the defensive scheme. Niggas scheme for this nigga. And when your second best CB or your defensive back is who? What? Anthony Brown? Is that the second one?
no, they got Stephon Gilmore now. So.
We do have Gilmore. Okay, okay. With you having Gilmore, do we still have Jordan Lewis?
I believe so. I believe so.
Okay, if we still have Jordan Lewis, Anthony Brown a little overhated right now. Understandable though. Let's not get it twisted. I'm not defending them. I'm not defending them, but it is a little OD. That kind of changes a little bit because I did forget about Stephon Gilmore. I think Zach Martin definitely has a little bit higher precedent. I think he has a little bit more power than Trevon Diggs right now. Just because he's older, just because Trevon Diggs is still a little green to this. I feel like Jerry Jones could talk to this nigga and convince him to like just kind of chill out for a hot little minute and get some other thing, finesse him real quick. So from a level of importance, I think Zach Martin because you gotta have protection for your quarterback. Yeah, at this point.
Well, you talk about level of importance. We can take that. We can take sort of a wider look at it. In Dallas, they have Zach Martin, they have Trevon Diggs, Micah Parsons. His contract is up soon, as well as CeeDee Lamb. That's next year. Tony Pollard, he's only on the franchise tag. Will they re-sign him? We know they're not because everybody hates running backs, but we'll get into that. And then also Dak Prescott. Granted, he did sign a new contract like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, or something like that.
Dak, yeah, I think it was like 2 years.
But quarterback contracts, they're always weird. Like they always asking like, I'm glad they getting their money, but they're always asking for more. They're always asking for like a restructured contract. They're always asking for more. So if you had to like rank the importance, who would you put? How would you rank it? With Zach Martin, Trevon Diggs, Micah, CD, Tony Pollard, and Dak?
Are you going off of this season or just off of just
like
importance?
Who they should try to re-sign first?
If we're talking specifically this season, Zach Martin goes first. Mm-hmm. Then I'm gonna say Trevon. Then I'm gonna say Micah. Then you really have it right here. Like this is you have it in the order. You have it Zach Martin, Diggs, Micah, CD, Tony, Dak. In that order of importance of who needs to get signed by priority. Now, if you was talking about, hey, yo, if there was no timeline and all these people had to get signed at the same time, my list is totally different. Because give Michael Parsons whatever that nigga want, give it to him. But and for this season, Zach Martin's at the top right now.
I think grand scheme of things, I still think they should sign. Like Zach Martin, he does need to be signed. But I think they should go ahead and get Mike out the way because he's already one of the best players in the NFL. So the quicker you get him signed, the quicker you have him under control.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Then after that, I'd probably just go ahead. Zach Martin's already old, so you shouldn't need like a super long-term deal with him. So I'd get him paid. Then CD. I'll be honest. I feel like Dallas is going to try some stuff with Trevon, and he might end up franchise tagged or something. I don't think I could see if
I could see a franchise tag.
I could see Trevon leaving, which is going to piss me off. But I digress.
I can see Tony leaving.
I don't even know why I put Tony. Tony Pollard's definitely leaving if they don't want him. He's only making $10 million because he's on the franchise tag, and he's a running back, and we know how the NFL hates running backs right now. So Tony's probably not getting signed.
They finna DeMarco Murray that nigga, bro. It's gonna be a sad case. And I fuck with DeMarco. That's why I didn't really feel bad when that nigga went to the Eagles.
Like, it's crazy because DeMarco Murray had the best year of his life, and then it went all downhill from there.
Flip. Nigga flipped him, and I got so upset. And then they gave us Zeke, and I was like, okay, I understand. I understand what y'all niggas be doing.
And then now Zeke is a free agent still. He could get re-signed by the Cowboys.
I think he coming back.
I do too. But
It's like he got it. I won't be tripping if he come back either. Cause it's like, yo, this goal line. That's that nigga. I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about.
it sucks though being relegated to just a goal line back after being the best, like the man, one of the best, if not the best running back in the NFL for like a good like 3 seasons at least. Like that's definitely gotta suck.
They're great for fantasy. Kept me out of Waffle House. Salute to Zeke, man. Salute to Zeke, man. Can't relate. Shout out to Pawnee too. But yeah, I mean, if we're being honest, like we can get right into these running backs for real. I feel like the time has come.
Yeah, we've started talking about running backs a lot, but like, my goodness, it's actually like the way they're getting treated. So they're like, you see like all the actors and the writers and blah blah blah. They're on strike. The running back, they need to go on strike or something. I don't know if you can even do that in the NFL.
It's not gonna work, bro. It's not gonna work like it used to work. You know why?
Let's just turn a wide receiver to a running back.
They'll do that, but then they got this new dual threat quarterback. You know what I mean? They just gonna utilize the fuck out of Jalen Hurts, utilize the fuck out of Lamar Jackson, utilize the fuck out of Pat Mahomes. All these people. Will Levis got legs. Malik Willis got legs. So I was just talking about him off air. You know what I mean? So Daniel Jones,
Daniel Jones is the running back.
Justin Fields. Like, look at all these runners. Trey Lance. Like, these are runners. Kyler Murray, he run like a toddler. You feel me? Like, these are, and we ain't even talking about CJ Stroud. He a pure passer. Like, we have a lot of evidence of it. Even if the running backs were to go on strikes, this is not the old school Peyton Manning ass quarterbacks. These are not the Tom Brady-esque kind of quarterbacks. It's just not going to work the same. Will it be, will it affect them in a way? Of course it will. You know what I mean? Because running backs are important to a degree. But them kind of going on strike like the Riders, not gonna work in niggas' favors. Because they're going to see Saquon, and then they're going to be like, well, we did draft Tony Pollard. We can just do that shit in the 5th round again anyway. Somebody gonna be behind this. I don't know.
And the running backs, they have a lot of beef because their franchise tag, the franchise tag is normal. It's what's given to somebody who can't come, who do a new contract, but they can't come to terms with a new deal. And the franchise tag is an average of the top 5 salaries at that position. That's what they get paid. And the franchise tag for running backs, it's only $10 million, which in the grand scheme of like the NFL, that's chump change. That's pocket change.
That is ass.
And then I think I saw like a stat or something that said the average running back gets paid less than the average kicker, which is crazy.
Yes.
I think they get paid like $1 million less exactly. Like the kicker gets 2.8, running backs get 1.8. And this is all reason to hold out because like Saquon and Josh Jacobs are the 2 biggest names in the running backs who are holding out, and it's actually crazy because Josh Jacobs, he was a 1st round pick, so I forget when, but he had a 5-year, or they're giving a 4-year contract with the option for a 5th year, and he's been the Raiders' best player for like the past 2-3 seasons. But the Raiders said, you know what, we're not going to give you that 5th year option. We're going to decline it and see if you can prove yourself. And he proved himself. He was the best running. He was statistically the best running back in the NFL. He led the league in rushing. He had 1,653 yards, and he scored 12 touchdowns. And the Raiders were like, thank you, but no thanks. We don't want to give you no good money. We don't want to re-sign you like that for real. And they wanted to sign the franchise tag, which is only $10 million. And that 1,600 yards and 12 touchdowns, that's worth way more than $10 million, especially on a team that's as bad as the Raiders.
And on top of that, he's not one of these injury prone. He's been healthy.
Yeah,
He's
he's actually
been
been relatively healthy.
he's been on the field. I mean, trust me, I know. Drafted him on fantasy. You feel me? Like that man was going to work. So it's just like when you're the Raiders, like we can talk about Saquon and people will be like, okay, he had a deal before, he turned it down because he wanted more. That's one thing. I still don't agree with that. But to not even give a contract to Jacobs and you're the Raiders. Your quarterback is Jimmy G. You have no yes, you have Devontae Adams, but like it's established.
Jimmy G. Like
It's established that you're not doing anything this year for real. Like I said before, I was joking. I wasn't really joking for real, but I didn't emphasize as much. They need to implement the same thing the NBA niggas is doing. When these NBA teams, you gotta use up this cap space. You gotta use it up, or else we just gonna take the money away from you. Ain't no saving shit. If you got 20 million, you better use it. Like I don't know what it is for the NFL. I don't know what the policy is, but they need to be like the Raiders need to be like the Houston Rockets, and just give these niggas some contracts. Cause look, you got to spend the money and spend the money on high assets, especially for somebody like Josh Jacobs. We still haven't even talked about Dalvin Cook. Like I thought the nigga would have been signed by now. It's really looking kind of crazy for the running back. It's getting disrespectful, and they keep talking about Zeke and they keep talking about Le'Veon Bell. But for every Zeke and Le'Veon Bell, you have a Saquon Barkley. You have a Nick Chubb. You have a Derrick Henry. You have a Josh Jacobs. That they are not injury prone, and if you give them a contract, they gonna live up to the contract. You know what I mean? It's just playing the card. It's football. It's a violent ass sport. So I don't know. And most of these people are not trying to reset the market. They just want something that's reasonable. Yeah.
But it's like owners feel that if they pay the running back something that's reasonable, that's them resetting the market, which is not the proper way to be thinking about contract negotiations and things. But like when you look at Saquon, the Giants were absolutely terrible at it. There's no reason they should have made it. Daniel Jones is a quarterback. Daniel Jones, he only threw 15 touchdowns. Daniel Jones also only completed 317 passes. Last season, Saquon ran the ball 295 times. That's basically the same amount of touches for them, 317 to 295. That's only like a 20 touch difference between the quarterback and the running back. Saquon was also the Giants' fourth leading receiver, but the Giants didn't have a single player with over 725 yards receiving. And Saquon Barkley led them to the playoffs with 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns, and he can't get a contract. Make sense.
You know who did get a contract? Daniel Jones. For having one on par season. Not a great season, a on par, just standard season.
He had a basic quarterback season. Not even like that was literally like we say a lot of people are mid. That was literally a mid season. Like it was okay. It was literally okay.
It was a serviceable quarterback type of season. Like okay, you're not losing us games. Like, and to his credit, I don't know. I couldn't name you the receivers that nigga had that season. You know what I mean? So I will give him that the receiver. One of their best receivers that tore ACL during like the season. So like I understand that, but when you have Saquon Barkley in the backfield, let's be honest with ourselves. You able to run like a running back, like you are, because when you do these read options, you're planning for Saquon. And when Daniel Jones pulls it back and starts running, gets a touchdown, it's like, okay, like that only becomes as successful as it is because the game plan is being revolved around making sure Saquon doesn't go crazy. And then you end up going a little crazy on the yards, plus a touchdown and a pass. So, look, I've been hearing some things about Saquon. He may not show up for week 1 for against the Cowboys. I'm gonna say this. Either Either Brian Daboll really gonna show his true colors of how good of a coach he is, or they really gonna feel the effect of not having Saquon Barkley and having Daniel Jones truly win them a football game. Hey, pick your poison. I guess. Hey, this is what you want to do as a front office. That's on you. That's on you.
It's gonna be crazy. It'll be crazy if they actually win that. Like, they won't win the game because the Giants suck, as we said. But if they mess around and actually win that game with no Saquon,
That's some Dallas Cowboy shit to do, though. I will say that is some Dallas Cowboy shit to do.
we shouldn't get our expectations high for the Cowboys.
Let's settle down. Let's settle down. Let's settle down. Let's settle down. On God. But like for the whole season, for the whole season, I don't see Saquon sitting for the whole season. I don't think any running back should ever sit a whole season. Outside of Le'Veon Bell, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work out well.
Le'Veon, he sat the whole season, then he went to the Jets and he was trash.
But he got a contract though.
Fair enough.
Nigga did get a contract. That's my only thing. He looked crazy. He looked crazy trash, but he did get that contract. Now Melvin Gordon, brother, that was not your lane. That was not your lane. That Melvin Gordon alone told me, "Hey yo, this is not for everybody. This is not for everybody. This is for the top two, and not even two for real. Like for real. Cause I think Le'Veon Bell was kind of like projected as like the number one back at that time. So
Le'Veon was cold, man.
He was cold. I don't know what. And then he started rapping.
It's the Jets.
God damn it.
The Jets are like the Browns, but they're just in New York.
You said the Jets are like the Browns are just in New York?
Yeah.
I mean, I can see that, but at the same time, they've had more success, more recent success than the Browns.
We've had more recent success than the Browns. We didn't even play professional football. You right.
let me chill out. But I mean, look, when it comes to the running back position, there's a lot of people that get flack for saying like, "Hey, yo, I don't want my son playing running back." I mean, look, no, I think honestly, the only reason why the franchise tag works for the quarterback, I think, is because you are paying so much money in that franchise tag. I remember when Dak was going to get franchised, it was like, "Hey, yo, look, you franchise tag, that's a $50 million franchise," or like it was in the 40s. High 40s, low 50s, something high, and then the next year that shit doubles to like
it went to like 70 or
72. So it's one of those things like, oh yeah, shit, franchise tag me if you want to. I'm gonna get bread. Like, yo, go ahead and franchise tag me if you want to. I'm not tripping. I feel like you have to implement that across the board if you want running backs to really get paid. If running backs got paid, their franchise tag was 25 mil. Or like 18 mil, 19 mil, and it just kept doubling on the second franchise tag. Oh, niggas would get contracts a lot sooner. Because niggas is just not trying to do a 1 year 30 mil for a running back. When they can just easily sign that nigga to 16 mil and get that shit out the way. So that's just me. I feel like you have to, I don't know if the NFLPA, I don't know how they do all their, contract stuff, negotiation stuff, but that's something I would propose as a casual of the NFL technical side, like the contract side of shit.
Yeah. To wrap this up, before we move on to our other basketball topics, I was listening to the Dominique Foxworth show, and he actually proposed like a solution to the running back thing, which made a lot of sense and sort of made me mad. I'm like, why didn't they do this before? But apparently the NFL, they set aside a certain amount to be paid out for performance-based incentives. And he was talking about how he was, a third-round draft pick, but because he played a lot and played well, he was given a bonus. And that the whole entire league has access to that money. So he was saying that the running back should get paid based off of that. Like there should be something in their contracts or whatever, or something that goes with their position that based off of the incentive they reach or whatever for the length of their contract, they can get paid more, which makes more sense because they're getting paid based off of what they do. So I feel like that should be a solution that the NFL should look at.
Yeah, and if owners weren't corrupt, that would even work even better. But you know how that shit work. I remember when Shannon Sharp said he had to reach 170 yards to get a $5 million bonus. I don't know what the actual incentive was, but it was the last game. And at halftime, he had 166, or like he was like 6 yards shy. Did not get the ball for the rest of the game. Did not get that incentive. So, of course you're going to have some corruption like that, but I do feel like incentive-based contracts for the running back position, I feel like works equal on both sides. So, hey, yo, pay me for what I'm worth this year in incentives. And, shit, I mean, if I suck, I pay the base pay, my nigga. Like, I pay the base pay.
But speaking on people that suck,
God damn.
no, I'm playing. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't hate on him. I've hated on him enough this podcast. But
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Deandre Ayton.
Okay.
He made some comments recently, and I feel like we should just cover them really fast because we got other stuff to get to.
For sure.
But he said his goal was to shift the narrative of how everybody views him, because he said, and I quote, "The world hates me. I have no fans out here, and I can feel it because the whole world is saying it. My goal over summer is to change that narrative." And that sort of makes me sad because I'm like, dang, he really does think the world hates him. But then I'm also like, you need to step it up, though. You were if your goal is to change that narrative, I pray you change that narrative, because my goodness gracious, you were so disappointing last season.
I just think this is what I call a nigga just being over dramatic. The whole world don't hate you, nigga. I'm pretty sure the whole world don't really know you. Like, there are not niggas in Turkey like, man, like that nigga eating his ass. Like, it's just not, like, let's be honest. It's America, okay. And even a part of America, like, you're not at that superstar status where niggas is just really just honing in on you. I think more people are honing in on Draymond Green right now, which we will get to, than you, nigga. Yo, lock in. This is self-inflicted. Nobody prevented you from being great and at least showing effort. You know what I mean?
Nobody prevented himself.
Like, this is all on you. You was going back and forth with a nigga that everybody loves. You know what I mean? Like, you did this to yourself. I don't know. I can't feel bad for that nigga. Just do better.
No, he sounds soft.
You do. Hey, you cooking. He sounds soft. He sounds
soft like them European players.
Oh, but he not European though.
Yeah,
he not European, and that's. Hey, let me know when you trying to go to that topic.
Bro, we got to go to it right now.
Hey, yo, let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Greg don't think the European players be soft, bro. I think they be soft.
There we go. Hey, okay. Look, this is my thing. What do you consider somebody, like, what is a soft player to you? Before I even go into what is a soft player to you?
I feel like, just in terms of basketball, just a player who's not aggressive, a player who like, you'll know you're better than this. You'll know you're better. A player who's like Deandre Ayton, even though he's not European. Like, you know you're physically better than this player. You know you have like the skill or whatever, and you're just simply not meeting that. You're not meeting that potential. You're not going as hard as you need to. You're lazy. That's also contributes to being soft, I feel like. So that's what I think a soft player is.
Okay. Me personally, I just want to kind of, I think it's time to change the narrative of European players being soft. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't necessarily know a European player right now that's really soft. It's like if I go down the list of a European player, as we're currently speaking, because a lot of people, what they'll say soft, like, the overall definition used to be like, oh yeah, he's only good until it's time for a nigga to get physical. And now all of a sudden he can't handle the physicality of the NBA. Now he's shooting 2 for 25, and that's contributed to soft and all that other stuff. At this point, I don't know what nigga that's doing that. We can play. Look, we can play a game called Who is Softer? And I think it's time to play this. I think it's time to play the game. Cue the music. You don't hear the music, but you're going to hear the music. Cue the music. All right. I'm going to go down the European list, and then I'm going to put an American player there. You're going to tell me who's soft.
See, but I got to give this caveat because I know you're going to start naming superstars.
Oh, my God.
Superstars aren't soft, but because you can't be a superstar and be soft.
But I'm going superstar for. I'm going star for star though.
Okay,
I'm going star for star.
Right,
now they won't be superstars. They're not all going to be superstars, but star, and you're going to agree it's a star.
Okay.
We've already said Ayton, right? I'm gonna give you. Fuck that nigga. I'll give you another one. All right. Jokic is on the Jokic is on the European side.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna put another person on here.
Okay.
He can't move until we find somebody that's softer. Karl Anthony Towns.
You don't get it damn well. Karl Anthony Towns not no superstar, bro.
But we say a star for star. He's a star, right? He's a star, right?
Jokic is a superstar. Anthony Towns is a star. And you know
he's a star. He's a star, right? He's a star, though.
All right, whatever. Jokic. It's clearly Jokic.
Oh, okay. Giannis? Is that a European player?
Giannis don't bro.
Yeah. Hey, is he not a European player?
Giannis is African. Giannis is a Nigerian man.
Okay. You playing that game? Okay. All right. Get him out. Get. I'm saying get him out that list. Kristaps Porzingis.
And who?
Find me somebody softer than Cat. Find me fuck the list. Find me somebody softer than Karl Anthony Towns.
Karl Anthony Towns is soft in general, bro. Not even trying to hate on it.
I'm saying people keep talking about these European players. There are plenty of NBA players that fit this soft narrative because niggas want to pick and choose when they want to be 90s basketball, early 2000s basketball. Y'all had a real conversation to be had when it was the 80s and the 90s and the 20s. Name me a Kevin Garnett right now. Name me a Ron Artest right now. Name me a Shaquille O'Neal right now. Name me all these niggas that people were talking about. Okay, like he couldn't handle Kobe mentality type shit. You know what I mean? Like, name me them players right now, because I don't see it. I just don't see it, and it goes back to the game of basketball that we're playing right now. You can't pick and choose. You can't say, "Hey, yo, the league is so soft right now," and then all of a sudden it's like, "Oh yeah, but these European niggas, these niggas is soft." No, it's you pick your poison. Either y'all fuck with the early basketball days, or you fuck with this new basketball shit. Either or, these European players is not as soft as niggas out here claiming it to be. Because I just don't know prominent players right now that if you give them a little physicality, they still not. Luka is still gonna get his. I don't know.
I don't know. That you make a very compelling argument, but I feel like this is also sort of like an indictment on basketball now as a whole. Like, it's a great sport and everything, but like it has gotten a whole lot softer. It's a lot of nobody post up anymore. Everybody's trying to do dribble moves. Everybody's trying to shoot. Nobody's trying to go to the basket. So that will lead to some softer basketball.
And this is one of the few times, and this is not the first time people have said this from the European niggas from overseas. Niggas from overseas out here saying that, like, hey, yo, it's just a little bit more physical overseas. They just don't get a chance to just be free range as much as the NBA. It's a lot more team oriented. They don't say that it's tougher or anything like that, but they say, hey, yo, the game of basketball is a lot more physical overseas. Jokic has said it. Luka Doncic has said it. And I don't think niggas is just saying that just to cap. A nigga that went into an NBA basketball game and put up 60 points, 20 rebounds, and 10 assists, I'm just going to assume that the nigga know what he talking about when he's saying, hey, yo, it may be a little bit more physical back at home. It's a little bit harder to score at home than the nigga that just put up video game numbers right before my very own eyes. So I'm saying that's my only argument is that as much as niggas talk, there's not a lot of people talking about soft like NBA players in general. They'll say I think we have to shut the narrative down. The league is soft. The league is soft. It's not just a European thing. All these niggas to a degree are soft because I don't think these European superstars are soft niggas. But I know who are. I know a few soft niggas. I know a few soft niggas in the NBA. I just know them, and I just gave you two.
All right.
I just gave you two, bro. Like, hey, what you?
I'll let you have this one. And while we do say the NBA has gotten softer, we're not saying like it's a bad product.
Oh, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Like hate the game or something. It's just like you know, bro. You know when you see it. It's just a little. It just look a little different, you know.
Yeah, I like we said before. It's not anything bad. I'm just here to change the narrative, yo. Cause niggas acting like they blind for real. Niggas really acting like they blind for real. But that was my only thing about European players, and that's why I wanted to loop combine what I was combining because it would have rolled right into whatever we got. But we'll save that for another time. But let's talk about niggas that's not soft.
I mean, somebody called him soft. Somebody did call him soft.
Yeah, let's get into it, nigga. Hey.
We're talking about none other than Draymond Green, who, for some reason, I mean, he has a podcast, so of course he won't shut up because that's another way for him to get bread. But my God,
and he be joining other niggas' podcasts.
Please stop talking, Draymond. Let's it's a little timeline, so let's take it back. First, this was I don't know how many days ago it was, but he was on his was he on his podcast or somebody else's podcast? I don't know. He was on Pat
Beverly's podcast.
He was on Pat Beverly's podcast, and he was discussing new teammate Chris Paul, which still feels disgusting to say, but I'm working through it. He said that as he was playing against Chris Paul with like the Rockets, the Clippers, blah blah blah. He never liked Chris Paul, and he said that hasn't changed now just because we're teammates. And I'm not mad at that, because that's real. Like, it hasn't changed because they're teammates. He said we'll talk man to man and blah blah blah, and we'll hash any of our differences out. But I don't think that's that's weird to say about your new teammate. But
got that nigga Jax heated. I know that nigga read that with a bald fist. Hell no, boy.
Like, that's not too bad or whatever. But then he continued to talk. And he was discussing on his podcast the whole Jordan Poole incident. And this led to Jordan Poole's dad, who apparently has Twitter for some old people. If you have kids who are in their 20s, you shouldn't be on Twitter, I feel like. If your kids are adults, you shouldn't be on unless you're like an actor or somebody famous, you shouldn't be on Twitter. Go to Facebook where you belong. But anyway, Jordan Poole, his dad came in the comments and said, hey, Draymond, after the punch and everything, after he knocked Jordan Poole out, Draymond had been avoiding Jordan Poole and his family all season. Draymond never apologized. And then he also called Draymond, and I quote, a soft-ass bitch. To which Draymond replied, tweeting back, saying, stop using fighting words. They don't go over well with real men. I never avoided you. I had to go through the family room and see you all the time because I had to go get my kids and blah, 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 and take them to the locker room. And then another instance where Draymond for some reason, won't shut up. And this time, he fell for a fake tweet by NBA Centel, not NBA Central, but NBA Centel. And in that fake tweet, Kevin Garnett was quoted as calling Draymond a bully and saying he needs to pick on somebody his own size, like KG. Draymond then quoted that tweet and said, I tried you when you was a rookie and you wasn't about it. I pressed you and you started talking to yourself like you was crazy. I'm really like, what did he said? What is that? That's like a freshman bullying a senior in high school. And then more comments came out with Draymond saying he has no relationship with Jonathan Kuminga, who is his teammate. And I just say all this to pose a question to you. Why won't he stop talking, Greg? Why won't he just stop talking? Please.
Hey, look, I'm. Before I go, I'm not defending all of this shit. I'm gonna defend some of this though. I'm gonna defend some of this right here. All right, look. Does Draymond need to stop talking, shut up and dribble? Absolutely. I think if he just never opened his mouth, especially about the Jordan Poole shit, you got let that shit go, nigga.
You already took that man off the team. He hates his life now. Like,
and let's not forget, niggas forget. Nigga had a whole documentary about this motherfucking incident.
I forgot about that.
Like, like this nigga been stretching this shit out for a long ass time. So this is what I'll say: 2 wrongs don't make a right. Just because Draymond is doing this, that doesn't mean Father Poole, you need to come up here and start just talking. Because what it sounds like, and as a nigga that gaslights myself back in the day, this nigga Draymond basically said, "Hey yo, this that shit that got Jordan Poole clap, nigga. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Like, hey, like father, like son. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth." He said it in a professional way. He said, "Hey yo, I pass you up all the time when it's time to pick up family. So you know what it is. Watch your mouth." Another thing he said, and for Jordan Poole's father, you kind of a loser for that. I'm not gonna lie. Like
he's defending his child.
Yo, look, I'm gonna be honest.
Because my kid's a grown man.
His quote was, "He didn't apologize to me and my wife." Hey, Jax, look, I'm sorry. It will never happen. We will never throw hands. But if I decided to uppercut you, nigga, do you think I'm supposed to come to your moms and be like, "Hey, yo, look, bro, my bad, my fault"?
I think in that situation he should have, because like Draymond was like Jordan Poole was like big homie, like they was like friends for I'm dead ass, bro. Because like
big homie,
I'm dead ass, bro. Because I forgot to say there was another one of like Jordan Poole's friends or whatever on like Instagram. He like did one of them like blacked out screens and type a long ass paragraph or whatever. But he was like, yeah, he was like, man, Draymond, he was the big homie. He would invite us over because like the Michigan connection and blah blah blah. And he showed Jordan Poole the ropes. And how are you just gonna do that to you? Like, how are you gonna do that to your man who like
It's another loser. Why are all of these niggas speaking on this nigga's behalf?
Because Poole won't speak. Poole just gonna post
because Poole is doing this shit the correct way. Anytime they bring this shit up on media day, anytime niggas ask that nigga, he act like nobody asked him the motherfucking question and he keeps it pushing. He really trying to move on for real. It seemed like Jordan Poole wants to move on from this shit.
Draymond won't let him.
I understand that, but your family members trying to defend you at the same time ain't making it better. It's really not.
There's nothing you can do to make the situation better. So
and why are you calling other niggas the big homie? Why are we doing that? That's crazy.
That is weird, but
you are a grown man calling another nigga the big.
I mean, he got drafted at like 18, so he's like grown man technically, but he's not really a grown man.
But he like 23, 24. And the cousin calling, "Hey yo, he used to be the big homie." What?
He did. What? He used to be.
Hey man, look. All I'm saying is, look. Draymond Green, he be doing some wild shit. That video told me everything I needed to know. Jordan Poole said some shit, and Draymond Green corrected it with his fist. And you know who didn't step in? Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. So I know it was valid. I know it was valid. I know whatever it was like, okay. Me personally, I wouldn't have done it, but I understand why Draymond did it. That's what I got out of niggas. Niggas was taking too long to pull Draymond. They let him get a real punch in. Like normally most of the time when niggas start pushing, that's when niggas start breaking it up. They got the pushing, and then he got a lick off. That told me everything I need to know. I feel like Jordan Poole was talking crazy.
One thing though, I do feel like Steph need to be like, Draymond, bro, please. Just like
Shut up. Yeah, you gotta stop talking though. You still gotta talk. You gotta stop talking though.
like
And as far as Jordan, not Jordan, Jonathan Kuminga, it just this one just feels weird because at this point Draymond didn't really say anything. Like I don't get how this shit got out. Like I just feel like niggas is just adding more fuel to the fire. I just feel like
that Draymond started. He started all this with him being the way he is around young players.
hey man, new media, right? New media, right? This is the new media.
New media and the old media are the same exact thing. But I gotta hold on to that one. That's gonna be
Shit.
That's gonna be the hot take. That's gonna be the hot take.
Oh word, you got a hot take. You got a hot take for that, man.
Might as well get into the hot takes now, then.
Hey, go ahead, let it loose, man.
All right. Like I said, new media and old media kind of the exact same thing. It's like that meme where it's like the old dude, he's like, "Oh, I'm losing weight." Then in the next picture, he just stepped back. He looked the exact same. It's the same thing. New media, everybody's screaming new media, and it's just like it's new. The new media. I think Draymond even started that term, but it's really just player-run podcasts, basically. But they're all just rehashing the same topics that losers like Skip Bayless and stuff talk about. Like, it's literally the exact same thing. Like, they're not really providing. I mean, yes, they provide insight to the game, and like on Draymond's podcast and Paul George's podcast, even Pat Beverly's podcast, they talk about their decisions from like in-game standpoints and things like that. So I guess that's like the quote unquote new aspect of it. But new media and old media are the same thing. They go through the same top 5 debates. They go through the same, I don't even know what else to call it, but like fodder. Like it's just really nothing, and it makes no sense to me. The new media, old media are the exact same thing. People need to stop lying to themselves. Because as soon as Draymond retires, he's gonna go like he won't have that player insight no more. He's gonna be doing the exact same thing that all the old players are doing now, which is being old media. Like he's gonna be on TNT doing his Charles Barkley, rehashing the same stuff. Like it's a waste of time. Just stop acting like you're different, bro. You're not, and it's okay.
He next generation Kendrick Perkins. Next gen KP.
I hope I think there can only be one Kendrick Perkins. He's one of a kind.
He is one of a kind. I will say that nigga is one of a kind. That is a one of a kind. Now it's time for my hot take. This is a hot take that I said from the unreleased episode. Not the Kobe one. Before you get into little high horses. My hot take. Skip Bayless is not for the black people like y'all people want to claim it to be. Skip Bayless is using black people. Don't let people try to misconstrue it and make it seem like he's giving niggas opportunities. Like, look, I understand what it looks like, but he's using that opportunity just like the black people on those shows. We're using that opportunity to raise their platform. It was a business thing. It's not looking out for brothers. He's not pro-black like niggas make it seem he is. He may not be racist. I'm not calling that nigga no racist. But let's be honest. He's not shit without Stephen A. He's not shit without Shannon Sharp. And you see it right here. And I challenge niggas. This is my hot take. Go get a white co-host. Go get a white co-host. Go get Todd McShay. Go get Dan Orlovsky. Go get one of the white. If you really this nigga that is like the guru of like blowing motherfuckers up. Go. Step away from the black community one good time and help your own little generation out. Help your culture out real quick. Help your little community out. Since you do this shit for real, since you've been on this Lil Wayne run, no pun intended. Since you bringing Lil Wayne more into this integration of sports for Undisputed upcoming, look, that's my challenge for you, Skip Bayless. You feel me? Like, cause you just using black people, and then once they get bigger than you, they don't you just like these NFL owners. You not trying to pay them. You not trying to push these niggas to get paid more than you, cause you feel like you have all the control. So that's
disrespecting.
I'm saying. So I'm just like, look, because that's the first thing people want to bring up when they bring up Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. What they were before Skip Bayless. And I'm like, yo, look, that's cool. I get it, but Skip Bayless know what he was doing, and that show just gonna get blacker and blacker. The longer it stays on air. I already see the projection. Start off with Stephen A. Talking about Kwame Brown and mispronouncing names of foreign people, which I think is kind of xenophobic to a degree. Kind of crazy. Niggas really need to check in on that. Not too much, but like, yo, that's kind of crazy. You can't pronounce nobody's name.
It'd be the easy names too.
It'd be Luka Doncic. I remember he fucked up Luka Doncic like when he was first in the draft. I see all the compilations. And he has, like I said, bro, like he has the opportunity to go and have somebody tell this nigga the correct pronunciation. He's just trying to do this out of.
There's an earpiece in his ear.
Yo, nigga, I'm pretty sure producers is like, hey, yo, it's Doncic. And he just gonna keep saying it the way he wants to. Because I really feel like he be trying to disrespect some of these niggas. But that's another situation. But on top of that, you go from that to going for Shannon Sharpe that brought in Black and Milds and do-rags on set and was taking shots of Henny or fake shots of Henny. On the set, it's only gonna get blacker. Skip Bayless saw the blueprint in the script on how to be successful with this talk show hot take shit, and he keep running with it. Get somebody that's not gonna do it. Get somebody like Todd McShay. And that's my hot take. He's not that nigga for real.
I would like to see him with the white coat. I don't think it'd work though.
It wouldn't work.
Wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work. And he know it won't work. That's why he keep talking about Lil Wayne so much.
But with that being said, follow us at Play for Keeps Pod.
For sure.
On all social media.
Like, leave a comment. You can subscribe if there's a subscribe button. I just don't think we have one yet. It's not like me on YouTube.
You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
New information to me. Go ahead and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Push the notifications. Make sure you understand and see when we drop all our episodes, our new contents, our new videos. A new video will be dropping tomorrow or sometime about running backs. I don't think we're gonna plead anybody's case at that moment, but you'll get a chance to see that and interact with us, man. Comment on our shit, man. We want to hear what you got to say. For real.
We'll answer it. Why not?
You know, and I'm gonna be honest with mine. Not too honest, but I'll be honest enough. If you want some stuff that's not basketball, if you want some stuff that's not sports related, look, I may not interact. I may not interact, but yeah, man, let's keep the engagements going. Final words before we let go.
Oh, also, y'all can suggest a topic.
Oh, for sure.
Want. Yeah.
For sure. Also do that. Also, we're getting to that point of the podcast, podcast journey where we want to start inviting you guys up here so y'all can spew some of this bullshit that y'all be talking sometimes. You know, some of y'all got some crazy takes. Yeah. I done got a few.
Don't just text it to us anymore. You know, say it with your chest.
Nah, say it with your chest.
Say it to the whole world. Let everybody laugh at you.
Yeah, you know, because if I say what I want to say, you gonna call me delusional. But if I have a whole gang of people saying the same thing, you may not feel the same way. You may not be 10 toes down. But this been a wrap for the episode. Follow us on all socials at Play for Keeps. Play number 4 for Keeps. And like I said, the only podcast that has a number 4 and has zero meaning to it
at all.
And with that, we will see you next week.